First we see the indignation of some readers, but then we are introduced to a certain Yu Ilshin. The author takes a break because he is playing a strange game, but then Yu Ilshin writes in the comments that he is saving the world and could use some help. One day, gates appeared in the sky and horrible dungeons opened under the earth, with cracks appearing from which demonic creatures began to emerge. Some hunters appeared with magical abilities equal to those of the monsters. Now they could destroy the monsters and get valuable resources, divine energy and materials. These resources gave humanity a chance. Every hunter in this world has his own class, from G to SSS. A hunter with class G did not stand out from other ordinary people. The class of the hunter rarely changed. We're introduced to a woman named Song Miri who lives in Seoul. She is a hunter with a grade of B+. She got this grade by retaking the test for the 10th time. She doesn't think her training was in vain. "I'm sorry. Are you all right?" asks the unknown man behind her as Sung looks at the result form. She misunderstood him. Now Sung thinks he's a pervert. She prepares to hit him with a bolt of lightning, because that's her element as a hunter. But the unknown man apologizes and answers the phone, distancing himself from Song. But then she is waved into the exam room and immediately forgets about the mysterious pervert stranger. She gets her results and sees her usual B+ grade. She is very disappointed in herself. Just then, she receives a message on her phone about the appearance of the demon Spiky Bull on Seondonggu Street. The message says that A-rank hunters should report to the war zone. Panic grips the streets of Seondonggu, and the reporters add fuel to the fire by saying that the hunters are resting in their mansions and cannot help them now. This demon could destroy their town. In the midst of the crowd, we see the stranger who saves a child named Seon Young. But then the demon catches up with them and prepares to attack. Just then, the demon is attacked by Song, who hits it with his lighting element. All she could do was stop the attack, but it didn't do any damage. She also uses all of her strongest attacks, but they are useless against a level A demon. The demon counterattacks and Song flies away helplessly. She takes heavy damage, but still stands up and protects the stranger, covering him and Song Yunin. The demon attacks, and the Slayer's strength fails her at the wrong time. Miri remembers the events of her childhood. Tears, pain and suffering followed Miri, but the unfamiliar figure suppressed the feelings of revenge in Miri. Feelings take over the Slayer and she begins to charge her attack. God's finger. At that moment, a scream of pain erupts from the hunter's head and she creates a storm of lightning and unleashes it on the demon. She had won. The B-class hunter, now called Empress Lightning, had defeated the A-class demon beast. Amidst the tears of joy and gratitude from the locals, she looks down at her hands, unaware of what has just happened. She assumes that the power has somehow exceeded its limit and burst out. A stranger runs up to her, tells her her real name, Sun Miri SSA, and thanks her profusely. The dream freezes in stupefaction. How did he know her real name? The voice in her head when she created the storm was definitely his. The mysterious stranger takes the child home. Who is he? It's the most popular place for suicides. But that's not why the stranger came here. He talks about how he could have died. And his niece could have died with him. LOL, she's a girl. He laments that it's all because of a stupid mobile phone, and swings it around to throw it away. Because, a few days ago, he was sitting comfortably and diligently writing something on his laptop and was suffering from a lack of concentration. He decides to clean his phone, but discovers a strange program called Godmaker. He doesn't understand what's going on and pokes at all the buttons on his phone. Suddenly, an ant in the game dies and a real coin flies into his forehead. It turns out to be the coin of the god of darkness, as the phone tells him. At that moment, it turns out that he's awakened the hunter's powers. Yu Ilshin number 369 comes to the examination room and is told that he has awakened his G-class hunter abilities. He goes home, where he writes his web novels, and decides to watch TV after a 5-hour shift. There is a news report on the TV about a strong S-class hunter who decided to sweep the Dark Dragon dungeon and just came out victorious. He sees all sorts of evidence that the S-class hunters are completely superior to him. He envies them, though he tries to deny it. He tries to sleep, but he hears the alerts and goes to his phone, shouting profanities. He clicks on the phone all night and gets a lot of coins, but towards the end he falls asleep. When he wakes up, he finds that the coins have merged, and when he looks at his phone, he sees that he has discovered a new feature of the God Shop app. He also presses yes on his phone. In the meeting room, unidentified people in formal suits are discussing the fact that someone has opened a hunter shop. They invite them in. The hunter and the S-class hunter enter and are greeted by the president of South Korea. The hunter and huntswoman were joined at the meeting by the head of the Hunters Association and many other important political guests. It is announced that a hunter with the hunter shop skill has finally appeared in the country. He is the first to have this skill in Korea. The hunter demonstrates the hunter shop, but it turns out that it is not in the form of a shop on the phone like our protagonist. To open it, our protagonist has to gather a lot of strength and use a lot of energy to open it, and he sees it himself. The hunter uses her telepathic powers to show it to everyone around her. The shop displays all sorts of mythical objects that people have only heard about in myths and legends. The government decides to keep the whole thing a secret and orders that no one be told about it until the launch. The hunter master Kan, who has mastered the hunter shop skill, is introduced to two S-class hunters as guards. Meanwhile, the main character, now called Nameless God, has completed all the requirements to activate the God Shop. He uses the money and opens it, hoping to make some money, but when he sees the prices of 1 trillion gold, he realizes that he still has a long way to go as he only made 300 gold overnight. The phone suddenly scrolls down and shows him an item for 100 gold. He decides to buy it, and it turns out to be a god's blind eye. He goes blind and panics, searching for the phone on the floor, bumping into furniture. Suddenly, after the bump, he starts to see, and now he can see everything that is written on the phone. He begins to remember again that the S-class is superior in every way. You will live and die as an S-class. Although I think someone said there might be exceptions. He decides to look around the shop for more items and finds the God-crushing index finger. He tries to use it on air conditioning, but his attempts turn out to be equal. He decides to use it on the TV, and apparently it turns out to be a normal remote control. It all starts with the protagonist trying hard to use his ability, but failing. Apparently, his ability works like a remote control, so he tries to write a short story with it, but fails. The ability can't write a short story, so the hero is sad, but not discouraged. Then he gets a call on his phone from the director he works for, and he gives him the good news: everything written is hilarious. The protagonist is stunned, because he has just described the days he has lived the last few days. The protagonist, or Nameless God, can't even believe that he is laughing. He hasn't seen him like this for a long time. He is waiting for the next chapter. The protagonist's life is slowly getting better. He feels very happy. He tells him that he will send him a new chapter in 2 days and disconnects. He sits down at his phone and goes into the world of grind. He tries to find a way to make more money and starts tapping his finger on the screen, killing ants. He opens a shop and tries to find something that will help him. He sets a goal to learn a skill that will help him increase his coin income, and starts killing ants diligently, earning coins and getting closer to his goal. But suddenly a very strong ant comes out and dodges his attacks, preventing the Nameless God from hitting him. He shouts curses, and by killing 800 ants he surpasses the Nameless God's karma. If he kills a further 200 ants, he will be given the title of Evil God, seeking power and authority. After receiving the title, he was rewarded. He falls asleep after feeling a severe loss of strength and begins to dream. A dark cinema, beautiful red chairs, and not a single spectator in the audience. He looks around, moving his eyes to find people. But suddenly the screen shows an image of the red ant he couldn't kill coming across an empty desert. He talks about how the evil god tried to kill him by sacrificing his followers. He believes that the god is not a divine being but a demonic one. He rushes home to tell his mates. Hi, if you enjoyed this retelling, be sure to leave a comment with the word God so I know you want a continuation of this story. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you all again, and bye-bye.